Welcome back, and again, hats off to you on taking the steps to take control of your financial future by setting up your Solo 401k. My name is Rachel Nabers, and in this tutorial video, we're going to go through the step-by-step process of how to create your Solo 401k plan. The first thing you'll want to do is to log into your Solo 401k dashboard by visiting secure.solo401k.com. Once you're successfully logged into your Solo 401k dashboard, then all you need to do is click to create your new Solo 401k plan. Now, for almost everyone watching this video, this is going to be a new plan since today is the day you're setting up your Solo 401k. Now, before we get started, I want to draw your attention to a couple of really important things. You'll notice that there are these little blue icons here with a little I for information. If you click on any of those icons as you go through the setup process and really everywhere in your Solo 401k dashboard, you'll find that these little icons contain lots of helpful hints to assist you in setting up, funding, and really using your Solo 401k. Now, in addition to these helpful hint bubbles, you'll notice that there are tutorial guides at the bottom of the page that when you click on will open in a new window to take you through step by step how to create your Solo 401k plan. These guides are really helpful to go through and to print out so that you have them handy as you're going through your Solo 401k setup process. But let's head back in and continue setting up our plan. So this is going to be a new plan, and hey, as you're going through and entering this information, if you make a mistake, don't worry. You'll have a chance to edit all of your information and to review everything before it's submitted. So we'll go ahead and click New Plan and Continue. And here we are. Now, you'll notice that this is where we're gonna input a little bit information about ourselves, and my full legal name is not John Doe, but we're going to use that for this example. And you'll notice that some of the information is pre-filled for your convenience. So if the information is correct, you don't have to enter it and you can simply say yes. So for us, for this example, is your full legal name John Doe? Yes. Is this my telephone number? Yes. And is this my mailing address? And the answer is yes. But just so that you can see what would happen if we wanted to enter in something new, you could just click this button that says no, my address is, and put in a new address here. Easy as that. Now the next thing, and something of great importance that we should talk about, is spousal participation in the 401k plan. So the IRS views a married couple as one taxpayer. You and your spouse are basically the same person in the eyes of the IRS. A common question that we get is, hey, can't I just have a Solo 401k and my wife have a Solo 401k as well? And the short answer is no. You both have one Solo 401k together in which you both participate, since you and your spouse are considered the same person by the IRS. Now, you might be remembering that Solo 401k is only available to people who don't have employees. So you might be saying, well, Rachel, if my wife is an employee of my business, then how come she gets to participate and how come I can still be eligible for the 401k? The IRA spouse is eligible to participate in your plan if he or she is an employee of the company that adopts the plan. So the eligibility requires that there are no full-time employees of the company other than owners, partners, and their spouses. And this is the big deal here. So, no full-time employees other than owners, partners, and their spouses. People that work part-time, that work under 1,000 hours per year are not considered full-time employees. So if you only have a couple of part-time people, they work less than 1,000 hours per year, then you are still eligible. But your spouse is actually considered an owner employee since the two of you are married. And that is how both you and then your spouse can participate in the 401k plan. Now, the great thing about spousal participation in the Solo 401k is that there's no additional paperwork that needs to be completed. So when you're setting up your Solo 401k right now, if you choose to have your spouse participate, and we strongly recommend that you do include spousal participation if you guys do your financial stuff together. The great thing about the Solo 401k is that you can still keep your funds separate from your spouse if that's the way that you run things in your household. You can set up a separate bank account for the participant, for your spouse, so that the funds are kept separate, or you can use the same bank account together for the trust, for the 401k trust, and keep track of which funds belong to each spouse. Now, these same two options apply when opening other types of accounts in the name of the 401k trust. Let's say a brokerage account. You can have a brokerage account in the name of the 401k trust, and your spouse will also have the ability to have a brokerage account in the name of the 401k trust. That keeps things neat and tidy if you and your spouse would both like to participate in the 401k plan, but keep your funds separate. So here we are back in our 401k plan setup. And again, just a reminder, these little helpful hints will take us through and give us any additional information as we're going through. So based on what we just talked about, we're going to go ahead and say, yes, my spouse, for this example, let's call her Jane Doe, is going to participate. She works with me. She receives compensation. Let's say that she's the secretary in my real estate management business, and she's going to contribute to this 401k plan as well. So yes, my fictional hypothetical wife, Jane Doe, if I'm John Doe, will participate in the plan. On the next page, we will enter some information about the business that's going to be the adopting business for this Solo 401k plan. If you already had a pre-existing business, then you can just enter in the earliest date that the business existed. If today is the day that you're taking action and starting your own business, and perhaps you're using the qualifying business activity of the referral program, then you can go ahead and click Today, I'm finally taking action. The next question is, what's the form of your business? And again, if you have a pre-existing business already that's going to be adopting the Solo 401k plan, and that pre-existing business is eligible for the Solo 401k, no full-time employees, then you can go ahead and enter in what type of a business that is. If today's the day you're taking action and you're starting on your own, then you can go ahead and just click sole proprietorship. Now, you'll notice that this next question pops up. Does your business have a DBA, a doing business as? This is of course not necessary, and many businesses don't have a DBA. So if yours doesn't, just go ahead and click no. Now, a great question that we get is, hey, can I change the business later on? Maybe today you're starting with a sole proprietorship, and maybe down the road you're going to change the adopting employer to be a different business, maybe an LLC. The answer is yes. It is possible to request a restatement and keep your 401k plan information the same. When you restate your 401k plan documents, you'll name the new adopting employer, let's say an LLC in this example, instead of the previous sole proprietorship. And remember, you can adopt the Solo 401k with any entity type, such as a sole proprietorship, corporation, or an LLC. And another great thing, you do not have to have an established LLC or corporation to adopt the Solo 401k plan. If it's just you or you and your spouse as a sole proprietorship, then let's go ahead and click that and move on. So we've got our information filled. Today's the day I'm taking action to start my new business. I'm starting a sole proprietorship and I don't have a DBA. On the next page, we're going to enter in some business information. And again, you might notice that some of this information is pre-filled in for you. So if this example is for you when you have a sole proprietorship and maybe your business is being run out of your house and maybe this is your house address, then if your primary business address is this address listed here, then you can just say yes and say what county it's located in. Now, if you need to input a different address, you can just click no and enter in the information here. And please remember that it is important to enter a physical business address as this is required by the IRS. If you want to specify a separate business address for mailing, then you can do that in the second section right down here. So the physical and the mailing address might be the same, and maybe they aren't, but make sure that you take a moment to go through this section so that the physical business address and the mailing address information are correct. The next question is about setting up your trust bank account. KeyBank is our preferred bank. They don't charge any fees to Nabers Group clients. They understand how to keep their hands off of a Solo 401k trust bank account and just generally leave you alone and make sure that your retirement funds maintain their tax-deferred status. So the next question is the physical address for your trust bank account with KeyBank this address? If it is, then you can click yes. If not, then you can enter in your address. And additionally, you have an opportunity to enter in the mailing address for your bank account as well. Scrolling down, you'll verify your phone number, and then we'll click continue. On this next page, we're going to enter in some secure tax information. Now, your social security number, date of birth, and driver license number are needed in order to identify you as the business owner. The entire application and the entire Solo 401k site is hosted on our secure server with 128-bit secure socket layer encryption. Your information is safe and protected. One important thing to note here is that this is going to be your personal social security number information because we are going to be talking about you, the participant. We'll go ahead and enter our information here. And then we'll enter in the information for our spouse, the secondary participant. Once your information and your spouse's information is input, you can click continue. So we've got a bit of bureaucratic busy work here, and don't worry, we're gonna keep this to a minimum. This is where you're going to select your business classification code. This is required by the government in order to make someone with a big rubber stamp happy. So a quick tip, if your qualifying business activity is going to be the referral program, then use the marketing consulting services as your business classification code. Now, we've listed here some of what we have found to be the most popular consulting, real estate, internet publishing, business management. We've found these to be sort of the most popular for the Solo 401k clients. If none of these codes apply to you, then let's head over to the NAICS website to check out how to choose a new code. Now, for this example, I'll just go ahead and type in jewelry. And let's say that I have a small jewelry design business, me, John Doe, in this example. So just by typing in a keyword search of jewelry, I can see, oh, hey, jewelry design services right here. If I click on that, then I can get a little bit more information about what this code is. And, just for this example, let's say that this is what I wanted to use. You can just select this code, copy, then go back into your 401k dashboard, click none of the above apply, and then paste in your code right here. So that would be how you can utilize a code from the NAICS website if none of these codes apply to you. But honestly, as I said before, most of our Solo 401k clients use one of these pre-existing codes. And for our example here, we're going to use the qualifying business activity of our referral program. So we're going to select Marketing Consulting Services as our Census Bureau code. So we've got that input and we'll click continue. And that's it. We're all done and we're ready to review our information. Now, as I said before, you do have an opportunity to edit any and all of this information if you see anything that needs updated. Each section gives you an opportunity to click to edit the information, where you go right back to that page and you can change any of the information that's necessary. So let's say that we forgot that Jane's middle name is Mary. So we'll enter that in, click continue, and then we'll be taken back to our review page. Here we are, we can review our information, scrolling down, everything's looking good, and we can click continue. And congratulations, that step is over, and our next step is to get the tax ID number. Now, it's important that you review the next video on how to obtain your tax ID number, also known as your Trust EIN or Employer Identification Number. Nabers Group will obtain this tax ID number for you at no additional cost, and we strongly recommend that you go that route. But let's talk about that in the next video.